Let's get more on the local elections now, shall we? And it's been a shock defeat in Middlesbrough. Labour's Cooke has beaten Andy Preston to be elected as the new mayor. It was a narrow win, apparently, with Mr Cooke beating Mr Preston by just 760 votes. So it really does go to show, though, that every single vote counts. And Andy Preston can join us now, I believe. Andy, thank you for joining us. Look, commiserations, obviously. Sorry to be interviewing you under circumstances like this. It's never nice, is it? But what went wrong?
What went wrong? I think that, local elections, they're normally about local issues, aren't they? Like a new housing estate that's controversial or a car park that's controversial. And sometimes national issues creep in. This time, national issues are everything. People are seeing the nurses on strike. They've got less money in their pocket. There's rampant inflation, all kinds of issues. And they're looking to blame somebody in charge, the government. So what we're seeing is in the red wall places where the Tories or coalitions got into power, Labour are coming back hard and fast. And in places where the Tories have been in power for a while, the Lib Dems are making real headway. So if I was Rishi Sunak, I'd be really concerned because the message is really clear and strong. We're holding your party responsible and the writing's on the wall, I think, for the general election.
Well, is there anything that you can do about it? Because if the writing is on the wall for a general election, and with respect, Andy, it has cost you a prominent position, so you must be smarting about it, and rightly so. I mean, does Rishi have to go?
You know what I think? I think, obviously, as we all know, his popularity versus Keir Starmer is good. It's less about Rishi Sunak and more about the Conservative brand, in my opinion. I think it's been damaged. I don't think it's completely irreparable. I would put their probability of winning the next general election at something like 10%, but no higher than that. So they've got a mountain to climb. As we know, popularity can ebb and flow very fast in politics. But I think they've got a mountain to climb. I don't know how they can do it. I don't think the economy is going to turn around fast enough. I don't think the strikes are going to be resolved fast enough for the Tories to get out of this. And I guess that was my message today, is that national issues are seeping into local politics. And that's why we're seeing a really big sea change overnight in Middlesbrough and across the whole country, places like Windsor and everywhere else.
Yeah, and I can't help but wonder whether the answer may be staring Rishi Sunak in the face, which is that at the last general election, a big barnstorming, thumping majority was won for an individual who, waved the flag a little bit, so he was going to get Brexit done, and said it essentially promised everyone that they were going to be a little bit wealthier. Now, Boris Johnson, overtaken by events, to say the very least, and yes, overtaken by scandal. I say this with my eyes wide open, hold the media very responsible for the situation that Boris Johnson found himself in, more so than potentially the actual facts of what went on there. But Rishi Sunak has now come in, after a short spell by Liz Truss, and he's got Jeremy Hunt next to him, and it's not looking very conservative. Is that a problem?
Do you know what I think people want? People want to believe that there's strong, stable leadership. There's the first thing. But they have to believe that the future's better than the past. Now, what Boris was brilliant at was selling this dream that the future's going to be golden. It almost never was, but people kept believing him. But there wasn't the strong, stable leadership. So I think Hunt and Sunak do offer that stability, that credibility, the old-fashioned values. But what they're not doing is selling an image of or an ideal of a golden future. That's what they've got to do. But that's going to be exceedingly tough when you've got nurses on strike, when you've got issues with transport, the train unions and others, when people have got less money in their pocket. I don't know how you sell that. I really don't know.
All right. And look, your prediction then is that you think Labour will win the next general election?
That's my prediction. You know what? I have to declare an interest here. I put 90 quid on them. I got slightly better than evens a few weeks ago for them to win a majority. So I've got a bit of skin in the game. Whether they will win, I don't know, but I think evens is a good price. They look set to do well. Keir Starmer's not, in my opinion, not delivering. He's not inspiring. He's not cutting it, but he's keeping quiet, and the Tories aren't managing to win people back. And so long as the nurses are on strike, they're going nowhere.
Look, I've got to ask on this. You'd bet on Labour winning the next general election whilst you were still campaigning to be the Conservative Mayor of Middlesbrough?
Oh, I'm independent. First of all, no, I'm independent.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not conservative.
Sorry. Sorry, oh, sorry. That's my fault. That's my fault.
okay.
Apologies. It's been a whirlwind evening for me as well. No, sorry. But you'd bet on Labour.
I bet on Labour, and I must stress, I bet some time ago before I started campaigning. But no, I think it was a good price. I mean, I was betting because the price is right. So my money's on Labour. I think Sunak and the Tories have got a mountain to climb. Right now, everybody feels that next year is going to be worse than this year. Nobody feels optimistic. If they can restore optimism, they'll do well. But they need someone to come in and do that.